A grown man jumps out of his bath, possibly half naked, sprinting down the street yelling, "Eureka!" And yes, it has everything to do with product design. Let me explain. This man was Archimedes, a renowned Greek mathematician and philosopher. The king had given him a problem, which was to determine whether a crown was made of pure gold without melting it down. He thought, and nothing clicked. Then one day, stepping into a bath, he noticed the water rise as his body sank. Suddenly, it made sense. Displacement. That was his breakthrough, his moment of clarity. In UX and product design, we call this aha moment. It's the instant a user finally understands your product, feels confident, and thinks, "Oh, I get it." And product onboarding is responsible for creating that moment. Hey friends, welcome to the Nook. Do you struggle to comprehend industry jargons as an early career product or UX designer? If so, don't worry, you're exactly who the series was made for. I have compiled a full A to Z guide to product design terms to help you understand and use them confidently in your communication so that you can set clear expectations and show your value as a designer. So far, we have covered letters A through N, and today we are on letter O. Our word for today, as you already suspect, is drumroll, onboarding. By the end of this video, you'll know what onboarding is, why it fails, and the principles great onboarding is built on, and how to design first-time experiences that guide users straight to the aha moments. So let's get into it. What is onboarding? Most people think onboarding is a welcome screen or a slideshow or an arrow pointing at random button. That's not onboarding. Onboarding is the process of helping users feel oriented, supported, and capable the first time they encounter your product. It's about straddling the distance between "what is this?" and "oh, it makes sense." If a user doesn't reach clarity, they don't stay. It's rarely because the product is bad. It's almost always because their first experience felt confusing or heavy. And there's data to back this up. According to user guiding, 21% to 72% of users abandon an app during onboarding when the experience feels overwhelming. That's huge. People tend to leave when 1. They don't know what to do first. 2. They feel unsure or intimidated. 3. They can't see the value quickly. When users feel confident, they explore. When they feel lost, they lead. So onboarding becomes the moment that either builds trust or breaks it. Major techniques for great digital onboarding. There are 5 core techniques you'll see across products that do this well. First, walkthroughs. These are the quick swipeable screens that introduce the product at a very high level. They are brief, visual, and always keepable. For example, Airbnb does this beautifully for a course, just enough context to understand what's ahead. Secondly, we have interactive tours. Instead of telling users what to do, you let them learn by doing. Notion does this masterfully. You create a page, you add a block, and instantly you understand the building blocks of the tool. Thirdly, we have contextual tips. These are small, just-in-time nudges that guide users exactly where they need help. Instagram's prompting, "try posting your first photo," is a perfect example. It appears in the right moment, not during setup. Checklist. Checklist gives users a handful of achievable tasks that build momentum. Substack's onboarding for writers is a great example. You write your first post, you customize your publications, you import subscribers. Each check mark builds confidence. And 5, quick setup screens. These ask for the bare minimum they need to personalize your experience. Pinterest asking for your interest is a perfect example, and the reward is instant, a full personalized feed. These are the techniques, but techniques alone don't build clarity. You also need the design principles underneath them. So let's talk about the principles that make onboarding effective. Considerations for designing a great onboarding experience. 1. Accessibility. Clear typography, strong contrast, simple language. All of this reduces cognitive load and it helps users feel grounded. 2. Progressive disclosure. Don't show everything at once. Reveal features only when they matter. This keeps early experiences clean and approachable. 3. Emotional tone and safety. Onboarding is a moment of vulnerability. New users are unsure. afraid to make mistakes, a warm, encouraging tone can dramatically reduce friction. 4. Transparent personalization. If you ask for information, explain why. Users trust you more when they understand the benefit. Number 5. Value reinforcement. Throughout onboarding, remind users what they gain. Connect steps to outcomes. 6. Progress indicators. People are more likely to finish something when they know where they are and what's next. 7. Safe exploration. Users should feel free to try things without fear. Make early interactions reversible. Remove the pressure. 8. Cross-platform consistency. If your product exists on multiple devices, your terminologies and layout patterns should feel familiar across all of them. 9. Performance. Even beautifully designed onboarding fails if it feels slow. Performance is part of the experience. If you're finding this helpful so far, hit the like button. It really helps more designers find this series. I also suggest subscribing so that you get notified when I post more content like this. Now let's get back to it. Types of aha moments in product design. Now that we've talked about how to lead users to their aha moment, let's look at the different kinds of aha moments that exist. Not all moments of clarity are the same. Some are emotional, others are functional, others are social and creative. Understanding these categories help you design onboarding that aligns with the kind of value your product offers. There are 4 major types of aha moments that show up again and again in great digital products. Let's walk through each one of them along with real examples. Number 1, emotional aha moment. Emotional aha moments happens when users feel something meaningful right away. It may be relief, calm, joy, inspiration, or curiosity. The value is emotional rather than task-driven. A good example is Headspace. Headspace guides users into a short meditation during onboarding. When they finish, many feel calmer almost instantly. That emotional shift is the aha moment. Calm introduces users to soft soundscapes and gentle visuals. The moment they feel a sense of peace, users understand the purpose of the app. Pinterest. With Pinterest, the aha moment happens as soon as the users see a personalized feed of their beautiful inspirations. The emotion of discovery pulls them in. Emotional aha moments rely on immediate feeling that shows the product's impact. Number 2, functional aha moment. Functional aha moments happen when users perform a task and think, oh, it works and it works well. These moments are grounded in clarity, simplicity, and capability. A good example is Trello. Trello shows a ready-made board during onboarding. When users drag their first card from the to-do to doing, they instantly grasp how visual workflows work. That simple action creates functional clarity. Notion keeps the interface minimal and invites users to create a page. When they add their first block, they understand how flexible the system can be. Canva gives users a template right away. Editing it takes only a few clicks, and suddenly users realize that they can design something beautiful even without design skills. Functional aha moments come from successful doing. Social aha moments. Social aha moments happens when users see connection, belonging, or recognition for the first time. These moments often occur when users feel seen by others. A good example would be Instagram. The aha moment usually comes when a user shares a photo and receives their first like. The interaction shows that posting has impact. Slack simulates messaging through Slackbot, then encourages users to message teammates. When they receive a reply, the product instantly makes sense. Substack. For new writers, publishing a first post and seeing even one subscriber open a comment creates a sense of audience and connection. Social aha moments are about validation and interaction. 4. Creative aha moment. Creative aha moments happen when users realize they can make something meaningful with far less effort than expected. They see themselves as creators. A great example is Figma. Figma keeps onboarding simple. When users make a small edit and see its update in real time, they understand the creative control the tool offers. TikTok. Editing a video with effects feel fun and approachable. Users realize quickly that they can create engaging content without prior editing skills. Spotify for artists. Uploading a song and seeing analytics appear gives musicians confidence that their work is alive in the world. Creative aha moments are about unlocking creative confidence. Understanding which category your product falls into helps you design onboarding with intention. So to wrap it up, onboarding isn't decoration, it's not formality, it's the moment where your product either becomes clear or becomes forgettable. Designing onboarding is designing the first chapter of your user story. If this helped you understand onboarding in a deeper, more practical way, let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and if you're not yet subscribed, please do so and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss the next letter in the A to Z of product design. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.